This is by far one of the most beautiful beaches that I've ever seen in my life. And unlike Thailand, there's no crowds here. There's no big crowds of tourists or expats. And to be honest, there's actually not even any locals here right now. It's completely deserted. The problem with deserted beaches like this is sandflies. In front of the luxury hotels, generally they rake the sand. There's also quite a lot of foot traffic, which exposes the sandfly eggs to the sun, and that kills them. But out here, in the middle of nowhere, sandflies can be a real problem. And it's not like mosquitoes where you might get one or two of them following you around. Here, if you stand in the wrong place, you're set upon en masse by a group of sandflies, and the bites that they give you are so much worse than mosquitoes. This happened to me just over there. I was standing in the sand trying to get a drone shot, so I couldn't move, and I was attacked by a group of sandflies. I'm not kidding, my legs itched for a week. I read online that if you put coconut oil on your skin, this can act as a protective barrier and stop the sandflies from biting you. But you know, it's not 100% effective, and the problem is, obviously you go in the water and then all the coconut oil comes off your skin. So be careful out there. These sandflies are a real menace, and they're lying in wait. So this is the very start of this beach, and this is an industrial pier. It's used to load ships with bricks that are actually made here on the island. One of the biggest industries here is the mining of stone, which is then processed and turned into bricks. And judging by the markings on the packaging, these bricks are then sent to China, I guess, to be used in the construction of buildings there. Right here's an example of one of the areas that's been mined for stone in order to make these bricks. The fact is, if I don't get more subscribers to this channel, then I'm going to end up working in one of these stone mines. Now, I'm not really accustomed to manual labor, so I fully expect to be worked to death my first week working in the stone mine. So if you have a heart, then subscribe to the channel and save me from a fate that will almost certainly result in my death. This beach is around 6 kilometers in length, and most of the development actually takes place right at the very end of the beach in the last half a kilometer, which means you have this huge stretch of beach with only 2 or 3 hotels on it. And one of the coolest things about the lack of development on this beach is that you can access it at almost any point along the entire 6 kilometer stretch. You just park your bike by the side of the road and walk down to the water. In most of the world, access to a beach like this would be restricted by a wall of luxury hotels and beach clubs, but that's not the case here. The 31st season of the American TV show Survivor was filmed right here on this beach. Sadly, there were no survivors that year. They all died right here. Heat stroke, apparently. It was the largest loss of life on a beach since D-Day. Undeterred, the producers actually came back the following year for season 32. Same thing happened. They all died. This time they were eaten by sharks. It was the most people eaten by sharks since the sinking of the USS Indianapolis. Here's to swimming with bow-legged women. Well, let's be honest, beaches are pretty annoying. Sand gets everywhere. The salt water sticks to your skin. They're also pretty boring. I mean, there's basically nothing to do at the beach. Most of the time what I end up doing is just sitting there and staring out to sea and thinking about my own mortality and how soon I'll be dead and so will everyone else that I know. But if you are going to go to the beach anyway, you might as well come to this beach, because at least there's no other people there. At the end of the day, the only thing more annoying than the beach itself is the people that you normally find at the beach, throwing frisbees around and frolicking in the sea. This truly might be one of the last beaches in the world where you can sit in peace and stare out to sea in the midst of an existential crisis and not have to worry about a rogue frisbee smacking you in the face.